All right, Benji, how you doing?
Very well, how are you?
I'm all right, thank you. Are you looking forward to your set tonight?
I am indeed. It's very early still. Well, early for the end anyway. It's about 12, but I always look forward to playing here.
And what kind of stuff are you going to be playing in the lounge tonight?
You know what? It's always dependent on what the vibe is in the lounge when I come here. I mean, obviously the main room tonight is drum and bass, so you know what you're going to get in there. But I play often in the lounge, and it's really dependent on the vibe of the people that are there. Like I did Marky's night a few weeks ago, and he was very much playing real feel good, some kind of deep house, some Brazilian, some like old school rare groove stuff. So I kind of kept in that zone. I just walked in there now and they're playing pretty grimy hip hop and stuff, and judging from the people around me, Hatcher's playing, I might touch a bit more on the dark side of things,
And how do you find playing to the drum and bass crowd? Because you play a bit of everything. You play a bit of house, broken beat, hip hop, soul. Yeah. You're pretty versatile.
I play across the board, but it's interesting because there's always been a great synchronicity between what I do and the drum and bass community. Not only because I grew up on that music. I grew up, all the people playing in the main room tonight, it's kind of heavy lineup actually. Fabio is one of my all-time favourite DJs, and Goldie's playing, whose club I went to religiously every Sunday at the Blue Note, and heard the likes of Fabio and Randall and people like that changed my life. So, I'm a big fan of those people. But on the flip side, my radio show, a lot of those DJs email my radio show because they listen to that in their spare time, especially people like Marcus Intellects and Caliber, and I know Darren Debridge is playing tonight as well. So I think there's a natural synchronicity between what we both do.
And how do you find, are you, first and foremost, do you love your radio show or your DJing behind the deck, so they both go hand in hand together?
Well, they go hand in hand, but I always say I'm a club DJ first and foremost. Radio's been in my blood since I was young because it's one of the most influential things for me. I grew up listening to Pirates, and that appetite, and that diet is what inspired me to get into radio, really. But no, first and foremost, it's about being a club DJ for me. That's where it starts,
And then, have you got any sort of breaking acts you've been playing on your show at the moment that you can tip us off on?
Wow, that's tough. That's really tough. I mean, someone that I found quite interesting recently that we broke a few years ago that really has blown up this year is a guy called Flying Lotus, who is on Warp Recordings, and he makes music that's really like future hip-hop, I guess, future beats, He's dope. There's loads of beat makers at the moment. There's a kid called Bullion from London, there's Dorian Concept from Vienna, there's Hudson Mohawk from Glasgow. A lot of those guys are making really interesting new electronic music, which is really exciting. But there's great people right across the board. I mean, Sarah, creative partners from the United States on more of the soul and hip-hop tip are really interesting. There's this new kid, Wale, that's come out with this mixtape, which I'm kind of into. 88 Keys, Cool Kids. There's loads of stuff, man. There's loads of stuff.
Oh, plenty of tips. Thanks very much.
Well, yeah, sorry, you asked for one, I know.
No, that's good. That's
the problem, is that I just have to be true to myself musically, and my appetite never stops. I'm always hungry, so there's so much amazing music to digest that I need to have it from all sides, really.
And you've got a slightly sort of maybe more unconventional background to quite a lot of DJs. You played the saxophone for 8 years, and then you taught the gamelan. Is that right?
Yeah. You know what?
Tell our more less enlightened readers exactly what that involves. Readers, viewers.
You know what, the internet's a scary place, man. It's funny, you do one of these type of interviews and then suddenly it's published on the internet and then it's...
Is it not actually true?
No, it is totally true, but it's just like, when you do so much in your life, I've done so much in various aspects of my musical and personal life, and then someone does one interview and then every single interview they rinse the same question about that because someone picked up on that. I guess it is quite unusual, yeah. I mean, I come from a musical background. I used to be a musician. I played sax for about 18 years and I kind of let that slide as the DJ and kind of took off,
Yeah.
And I played a lot of percussion instruments and also used to teach this thing called gamelan, which is music from Asia. So that's one of the many musical...
That sounds really interesting.
It is interesting. It's like a tuned percussion orchestra. So I've always been a rhythm person. That's why I like breaks. That's why I like drum and bass. That's why I like the music that I play. It's rhythm first, then everything else. So that was one of the things that appealed to me about that music, and that's how I got into it. But I played many instruments when I was young, but sax is the main...
Recorder?
Never done that. Never appealed. They tried, when I was like 6 or 7 and you want to play your instrument, they said, what instrument you want to play? And I said sax. They're like, no, you have to start on clarinet. And I was like, no.
Yeah, I did that as well. They made me start on clarinet.
No, it couldn't work for me, really. I had to go straight in on the thing. But DJing is probably my main instrument now.
And what are you up to over the summer? Doing any festivals or going abroad anywhere exciting?
You know what the clubbing season... The clubbing season is a bit like the football season, man. It kind of runs from about September October through to the following May, and anything in between that is a bonus. Like tonight we're out in June, it's packed, it's a wicked thing to see in London because traditionally summer is festival time. And I'm sure most of the DJs in there tonight will tell you the same thing, like, you know, the winter time is the time when we bumping into each other at Heathrow all the time, and summertime is big chill and Glastonbury and whatever they're called now, Festival and all of those, V Festival and all those things. That's all to come for the next 3 months. A lot of motorway madness for sure.
Is the End quite a special club to you? Have you been coming here for quite a long time? You've got good memories from the place?
Yeah, the End is legendary in London. You know, not only is it one of the best sound systems in the country, and, you know, as a DJ coming here to play is a real pleasure because technically speaking, the engineers are just on point. You know, you travel around the world, you go places, they got wax sound systems, cartridges that don't work properly, CD players that are broken. You know, last time I played here, I forgot my headphones. I walked in, blam, just in my hand. You know, it's like the whole level of engineering and care and attention to detail when it comes to the sound and the sonics is second to none here, especially in the main room. You know. But also, it's just an amazing landmark for London. The amazing thing about this club is that I've been coming here since the day it opened. I actually came to the opening party.
Really?
Yeah. Or I definitely came to a party in the opening week when Mr. C was throwing loads of parties. And I've been coming ever since. It's mad as well because every time I come here, this doorman has been here, I'm sure, since that week. If not, certainly Liam, the guy with the ponytail, has been running the door here.
Yeah, he's been here since the beginning.
Yeah, he's every single time I come here, except tonight actually, I always see him. He is like the End legend, you know.
He's downstairs, you can find him.
And in a way, he's downstairs, right? So in a way, that must be testament to the club, the fact that these people are, you know, still running the door, still holding the fort. You know, you get the sense here very much that it's a friends and family operation, you know, down to the people that run the place, down to the way that you're treated as an, you know, when you're actually working here, you know, it's an official place. I've been to some amazing sessions here. I've been to some great one-offs. I've been lucky enough to play in the main room a couple of times, which is great to get your hands on that sound system. But I think probably my favourite sessions here was around must have been 96 or 97. When,
just after it opened, basically.
Was that when it opened? Yeah, well, one of the first drum and bass sessions, I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, went down here was the Full Cycle sessions, when Ronnie Sires and Crust and all them boys come from Bristol once a month to do a Friday night here. And it ran probably only for about a year at most, maybe even 10 sessions. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Di would probably correct me. It's probably like, I don't know, it felt like it was only a year. It was quite a short-lived session, but I was here every single month for that because it was just as a punter. I never DJ'd, just came down for the session. Amazing sound system, and it was at that time when Ronnie and all those guys were cutting all that, you know, Brown Paper Bag and all them tunes were starting to emerge, and every single month it was almost like a competition between them cutting, you know. And yeah, I had a really good time at that session. So I've definitely had some pretty legendary nights down here. You know, it's a testament to the venue and to London that it's still going strong. Excellent. That's what we like to hear. And it's good. You've been here on the dance floor 10 years ago, and now you're behind the deck. So what more could you want? Oh, not half, mate. Look at that. Cheesy. Love it. All right.